Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I will present about consumer protection in Islamic law. Before that, I will introduce myself. My name is Afifah Ilyana binti Ahmad Zukairi. My matric number is 24BB05015. For table of content in my topic, the first one, we will go to the introduction of consumer protection in Islamic law. The second one is list of consumer protection in Malaysia. The third one is importance of consumer protection. Next, Islamic principles, prohibited practice, and the last one is role of authorities. For the introduction of my topic, what is consumer protection? Consumer protection means keeping buyers or consumers safe from being cheated, lied to, or treated unfairly when they buy something. In Islamic law, this is very important because Islamic wants fairness and honesty in business. But did you know this idea is not new? In Islamic law, consumer protection is very important. Why? It is because in Islamic, we have teach fairness, honesty, and justice, especially in business. So, Islamic encourage sellers to be truthful and to treat customer with respect, and it reminds buyers to be honest too. So, in short, consumer protection help build trust, fairness, and balance in our everyday transaction, just like Islamic teaches. Now we will go through list of consumer protection. In this slide we have 10 list of consumer protection, which is the first one is protection against fraud and cheating. Islamic forbids lying or hiding the truth in sales. We will take in hadith, whoever cheats is not one of us. It's from Sahih Muslim. And the second list of consumer protection is fair weight and measure. Seller give the right amount when selling by weight or size. From the Quran, we will take give full measure and weigh injustice. And the third one is no deception, which is gharar. Islam does not allow uncertainty or hidden fact in contracts. Product must be clearly described and understood. Buyers should know what they are paying for. And the next, no hoarding, or we call it ihtikar. Sellers cannot hide goods to make price go up. Hoarding harms consumers, so it's not allowed. And the next one is no riba or interest. Charging unfair interest or exploiting people with money is forbidden. This list of consumer protection will protect consumer from debt traps. Okay, number C, right to return defective goods. If a product is broken or not as promised, the buyer has the right to return it or ask for a fair solution. And the next list, honesty and advertising and labeling. Seller must tell the truth in ads and product labels, especially for halal items. It is because two misleading ads are a form of cheating. Okay, the next one is fulfillment of contracts. Once a deal is made, both sides must keep their promises. It is because avoid from breaking contracts unfairly is a sin in Islam. Okay, for the second last, right to safety and halal products. Islam protects people from harmful or harm products like alcohol, pork, and others. And the last one is supervision of the market. In Islamic history, there was the muhtasib. Muhtasib is a market inspector who made sure prices were fair, no cheating or lying, clean and safe goods were sold. Okay, the next slide, I will present about importance of consumer protection. Why consumer protection is important in Islamic law? It is because the first one is consumer protection will fulfill maqasid al-Sharia, which is objective of Islamic law, especially for protection of life, property, and dignity. And the second, riba or interest is forbidden in Islamic. This protects consumer from unfair financial deals and keeps them safe from falling into debt traps. Okay, the next one is prices must be fair. Islam does not allow raising prices too high just to take advantage of people, especially during times of need. Okay, for contract must be clear and fair. All term, prices and condition must be fully understood by both the buyer and the seller before a deal is made. For product must be halal and safe to use. Items should be allowed in Islamic and must not be harmful to people's health or life. For markets should be monitored to protect consumers. In Islamic tradition, the muhtasib was a person who watched over the market to make sure trade was harnessed. Today, this role is played by government or halal authorities. And for Islamic, does not allow uncertainty or deception in consumer protection because buyers have the right to know exactly what they are paying for. There should be no hidden details or unclear product. Okay, for buyers will have the right to return or complain about a bad product. If something is broken, fake or not as promised, Islamic allow the buyer to return it or ask for a fair solution. Okay, the last important of consumer protection is business must follow Islamic ethics. It is because seller should always be kind, honest and fair. Business in Islamic is not just about money, it's about pleasing by Allah and doing the right thing. Okay, for Islamic principles in consumer protection, in Islamic law, consumer protection is based on strong moral and ethical values. Honesty is essential in all business dealing and sellers are required to be truthful about their product or service. Trust or amanah plays a key role, meaning that business is seen as a responsibility and cheating or hiding defect is strictly forbidden. Justice or adli must be upheld in every transaction, ensuring fairness in pricing, contracts and how consumers are treated. Islam also prohibits causing harm to others or la darar, whether through unsafe product, dishonest behavior or unfair trade practices. Lastly, fulfilling contract is a serious obligation in Islamic. Once an agreement is made, both parties must be honored, as breaking promises without a valid reason is not acceptable in Islamic ethics. In Islamic consumer protection, we have 5 prohibited practices in Islamic law, which is the first one is gharar. Selling unclear or uncertain item is not allowed. The second one is ihtikar, hoarding. Storing goods to raise prices unfairly is forbidden. The second one is dishonest measurement. Using false weight or measure is a major sin. And the fourth, riba or interest. Taking or giving interest in financial deals is strictly prohibited. And the last one is tadlis or deception. Hiding product faults or lying about quality is haram in Islamic law. Okay, for the last slide is role of authorities in consumer protection. In Islamic history, a person called the muhtasib was responsible for supervising market to ensure fair trade, correct pricing and honest business practice. Today, government play an important role in protecting consumer by creating and enforcing law based on justice and Islamic ethics. Halal certification bodies also help protect consumer by making sure that food and product meet Islamic standards and are safe, clean and halal to use. Lastly, for conclusion, consumer protection in Islamic law is rooted in justice, fairness and honesty. It ensures that buyers are protected from exploitation and harm, Why promoting ethical business practices? By following Islamic principles such as truthfulness, trust, and accountability, Islamic creates a balanced environment for trade. The prohibition of harmful practices like cheating, unfair pricing, and dishonesty emphasize the importance of fairness in the marketplace. Moreover, the role of authorities such as the muhtasib in history and modern government oversight help ensure that these principles are upheld. Ultimately, Islamic law fosters a system where both consumers and sellers are treated with respect and dignity. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi